First and foremost, I want to say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that rule well. And salutation to you brothers that's pushing the truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. All right, I want to get this quick little this quick little news update. Excuse my voice, brothers. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Just got off work. I want to get this quick little news update. You know what I'm saying? On my ride home, I was catching up on some of the news today, and one of the big stories they had in the news was about North Korea and their new developments on their nuclear missiles. They've made it a so-called advancement. So Esau says they've made an advancement now that they've miniaturized these nuclear warheads, these nuclear bombs that fit inside the warhead, of the nuclear missile. They have a couple of different stages. First of all, they have to be able to have something to deliver it. The missile. They need to be able to shoot the missile to be able to land over here, without even having a warhead. Then they have to develop the actual warhead itself, Then they have to make it, small enough to fit onto the missile to be able to make it over here. This is the story that they're claiming it now. They got to the point where they were able to miniaturize a nuclear bomb and put it on this nuclear missile, the intercontinental ballistic missile, to shoot from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Okay, well, actually, a lot of this, this is, what they call in the scriptures rumors of wars, long story short, I'm making this video, just to show what time it is we're in, they're not making these bombs for nothing. They're not spending all this money for nothing, and their so-called mind, they're not spending these billions and billions of dollars on these nuclear weapons just to say, okay, now we finally got it. We got it to where we need it to be at. Now we're going to sit them on the shelves, They're constantly saying, like Iran, as soon as we get this, we just going to let them off, And, through the scripture in the Bible, we know that, he's not about to launch a missile right now because of the fact of, the Lord said basically they want to all basically come all at once, and all at one time. So you're not going to have, North Korea shoot a nuke over here. We're going to shoot a nuke over there. Somebody's going to shoot a nuke over here. Then things are going to stop for a while. Then things might escalate again, No, they're going to all fly all at once, But, and looking deeper into the North Korea deal, and I want to say Iran as well, there's a lot of controversy about, oh my gosh, when these people get nuclear weapons, what they're going to do, blah, blah, blah. They're all worried about them getting nuclear weapons. Well, if you go back and you look into Adolf Hitler, Adolf Hitler was, he wasn't the one who came up with it, but in his time frame, at that period, they were the ones that developed basically the first ICBM missile. It wasn't, where it is today, but they called it the V2 rocket, That same V2 rocket, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the same rocket that we still use today, basically, to get into outer space. This is not the plane part of the space shuttle, but the actual rockets that are taking it up into outer space. And that technology hadn't been really improved since then. And here's a sign, basically, like the scriptures say, Russia's going to be a guard unto them. So they're the ones that's basically giving these people these nuclear weapons and stuff like that, developing them. And if you look into the stockpile, when after World War II, when Hitler fell, America and Russia split up the nuclear stockpile that they had, and did the reverse engineering, figuring it out, so they say, America brought over the scientists from Germany, and Project Paperclip, and this is the reason for NASA. NASA was a cover-up to develop these nuclear weapons. And if you actually do a lot of the research onto it, you'll find out that basically, like I said, that V2 rocket that Hitler and them designed at that time is pretty much the same rocket that we're using to this day for to get into outer space, And if you look at it that way, with these intercontinental ballistic missiles, they first have to go into outer space. It's a little too much to actually shoot a rocket from one end of the earth to the other end. So what they do is they shoot it up into outer space, once it gets into the upper atmosphere, where they're not really in they still have the gravitational pull, but basically they're in orbit. They can orbit around the earth like the satellites. Once they get up into that area, they can they don't need all that fuel and all that thrust and the power no more. You can use a little bit of gas just to get you, where you need to be at, aim it downward and let gravity take it the rest of the way down, you know. But you know, like I said, so for you to be able to shoot this intercontinental ballistic missile off, you have to have the capability to get into outer space. Okay, NASA and the space program isn't to look at stars and all that stuff. We all know it's something different behind that. You know, NASA basically was, in the long run, was created, like Ronald Reagan said, was for the Star Wars program, to fight with Yahweh Shah when he returns. You know, and they know those chariots are out there. You know, they've been seeing them for the longest time. But you know, NASA was basically just like a front. It's like Space Command. You know, they're weaponizing outer space to fight with Yahweh Shah and the angels. You know, but they're not gonna win. Obviously, they were afraid, but they durst fight, like the scripture says. You know, but yeah. Long story short, you know, these countries that have the capability to get into outer space, they basically have an ICBM missile. You know, whether or not they have the warhead to detonate off of that, but they can deliver the package. You know, they have the means to deliver the package. You know, so you know that's something that's not, they're not going to talk about that inside of the media, because you know they're trying to use the fear tactic. They need to get everybody here in America brainwashed to okay the war that's about to take place. They know that they're about to go to war. You know, this is like the Hegelian dialect. They know, you know, this isn't America versus Russia, you know, and things like that, because in their minds they all have their own plan. They, you know, they're all in confederate with one another, with one plan, one agenda. They might seem like, you know, it's like the good cop, bad cop. You know, they both cops. You know, but if you on the other end of it, you might think that one of the cops have your best interest, but at the same time, you know, if you really look at it, they're being paid by the same person. They're gonna get back in the same squad car together, go and have a donut and coffee together, you know, and talk about how they screwed you over at the end of the day. So you know, these people, they know their plans, so they're trying to brainwash you with all this, and you know, these stories are about. But however, it's also it's like an alarm clock for, you know, us Akim and its truth, because it's letting us know that, you know, these times are getting closer and closer and closer and closer. You know, we're pretty much to the point now where any story coming out of North Korea is about nuclear weapons. You know, and the progression of their missiles. You know, and how far they are on creating these missiles. And once they get them created, then you know it's game time, baby. You know, that's when it's time for us to go. You know, so you know, just you know, like the scripture says, you know, watch ye therefore, you know, and keep your eyes on the prophecies. You know, these are you know, basically these are our signs letting us know, you know, what's going on and what time it is. So, and we need to be, you know, in these scriptures prophesying the downfall of America, you know, and trying to, you know, seal the rest of the elect, making sure that they understand what's going on and things like this. You know, some people might be like, oh, North Korea is not going to shoot this, North Korea is not going to shoot that, you know, but in the spirit, we all rejoice at these signs like that, you know. Go ahead, get your bomb. We, you know, I you know, Lord willing, that y'all press the button today. You know, you go ahead and press that button today, and everybody else has to launch their missiles, you know, and that's when we're going to have our salvation, you know. So, you know, I hope this little news update was, you know, a little edifying and stuff like that. You know, I just seen this story, like I said, on my ride home, and I was like, you know, we got to, you know, prophesy about this and push this. You know, we got a lot of prophecies taking place right now. A lot of things are stirring up. You got the mark of the beast being pushed heavy right now. You know, like out there in Wisconsin, and these credit card companies pushing store vendors and different vendors to go cashless. You know, and these are the last couple of prophecies that we have to you know, see play out. You know, you got the mark of the beast. You have Jacob's trouble, which, you know, if you looking in other countries like Venezuela and stuff, they definitely in Jacob's trouble already. You know, and it's like Pandora's box. You know, once the box is open, you can't close it back up. You know, those people in Venezuela and stuff like that, and Brazil and stuff, they're not gonna go back to living a normal life. You know, everything's not gonna go back down. You know, so. You know, North Korea is not going to develop this missile. Them and Iran not going to develop their nuclear bombs and say, okay, you know, we want to be peaceful with everybody now that we got these things. You know, that's the weak saying that I am strong now. You see these prophecies come into play. You know, and again, it's why you know, the scriptures say, study and show thyself approved. Blessed is he that readeth. You know, because you know, you could be in a worldly mind and thinking, oh, North Korea has got this and got that, and you might be all bugged out of your mind, but the scriptures prophesy all about this. You know, Russia being a guard unto them, let the weak say I am strong, and you know, basically, you know, they're saying, is this the man that, you know, is this the man? Everybody bucking up at Esau. You know, you got this little North Korean, well, North Korea, you know, it's a small little place talking big to, you know, the big bad America. You know, This is something that should be lifting your spirit up and letting you know what time it is, you know, and rejoicing about this because our salvation is not, you know. With that, I want to say all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you brothers that's pushing truth in the four corners of the earth. Shalom.